just a quick little word, everybody, before we get started with the tutorial is that when I created Cobblemon Badgebound, it was just meant for me and some friends. And so my goal was to make it work, not to make it work flawlessly or the most efficiently or sometimes even well. And so some of the stuff you're going to see, like the mods I have installed, are not very efficient. They might not be the best ones. And some of the files that I made for it might not be the best way to go about any of that either. When I booted up the server for the first time, I was not intending on making a YouTube series out of it. That was just kind of a happy accident, and here we are. But uh, so take everything that you see here with a grain of salt. But let's get started. All right, everybody, this will be a quick little tutorial video to show you all how to install and play Cobblemon Badgebound. Thank you all so much for the support that you've shown it. It's absolutely blown me away. This video right here will be not very edited, just a quick little tutorial, like I said, to get y'all into it. Not quite the same quality as the videos that you'll see on the Jackass channel. But what we're going to do, go to the internet, enter or open up the link that is in the description of this video. That'll bring you to a Google Drive where you can find the file. This is badgebound cobblemon download.zip. We're going to download this guy. I didn't put a virus in it. You're good to go. Okay, there we go. So it just opened. Thank goodness that took a second too long, but here we are, we have it. We're going to extract this file. It's in downloads. Let's go ahead and extract all. I'm going to use WinRAR extract to Cobblemon Badgebound. There we are, Cobblemon Badgebound download. I'm going to bring that to my desktop just for ease of access here. So what we're going to do is we're going to install this in CurseForge. You might be able to do it in Modrinth, but the vast majority of the mods in this are through CurseForge, excuse me. Though even still, not every single mod that we have in this is going to actually be through CurseForge. I'm not sure why it's only showing these mods. I promise there are more than that in there. Now, let's open up CurseForge. Here we are, forging my library. Wonderful. We're going to import a new mod pack, choose the zip file. For me, I just brought it to my desktop. So that is going to be around here somewhere. Desktop, Cobblemon download, modpack.zip, open. Here we are. It's installing right now as we speak. Wonderful. All right, here we are. It's this one far on the right. I know it's this one because it says I've never played it. Here we go. We can see all the mods down here included. There are, like I said, 97 of them. There are some mods in here, though, that you probably aren't going to need. And so feel free to just scroll through and deselect whichever ones. If you're not going to be building, you're not going to need a world edit. Same with the Axiom mod, which is in here somewhere. I know I'm not going to need this for today, so I'm just going to go ahead and disable that. You can leave it in the mod pack, but if you disable it like that, you'll be good to go and it won't interfere with anything else. But what we're going to do is we're going to play it. And it's going to open up the Minecraft launcher. If you're familiar with CurseForge, this is super simple, super regular. This is going to take a second for all of it to boot up. You're going to see this console go flying for a little while, but once it's finished loading, you'll see Minecraft pop up right here. Here we are. It's starting to get us there, slowly but surely. Okay, so we're actually all booted up into Minecraft now. This is great. Let's go to single player. I just turned off the sounds because the music was a little obnoxious. We're going to put this in creative. I'm just going to say, I'm going to call this bound because that's easy. Now what we're going to do, this is important. You need to go to more up here, go to data packs, and we're going to add a bunch of data packs to the world generation. So we have this open. This is our data packs folder. I just click this button right here. What I'm going to do now is open up CurseForge like this. So this is the Badgebound Cobblemon thing that we just clicked play right here a little bit ago. We're going to hit these three buttons, or three dots that is, click open folder. This is your folder for Badgebound. Everything that you need is going to be right in here. Like literally everything. All of the configs, all the mods, all your world saves, all of it is going to be right here. What we need right now are these data packs. So we're going to click data packs. I'm going to highlight all of these and click copy. Great. Now I can move this one away. We still have this other folder. This, you can see MC World up here. This is the folder from the Minecraft data packs, and we're going to paste that in here. It'll take just a second to get it all going. All right, perfect. So they're all in here. Now, one thing that I do want to tell you guys about, I wanted a very specific experience when I was making Cobblemon Badgebound. For example, I have a function that disables Dragon Spiral Tower because 2 of the mods add it and I didn't want 2 different Dragon Spiral Towers. Override Silverwing, fix some error. I don't know if that's still necessary. I didn't want Terralith to spawn villages, so I created a custom data pack to get rid of the villages because there were just too many. But if you want Terralith villages, remove this data pack. If you want Waystones to spawn naturally in the world, remove this data pack. So there are certain things like this that I added in there to affect the generation of the world, which is, of course, why this is important. This Cobblemon Pokeloot one is absolutely necessary, as well as some of these legendary ones. But all the ones that aren't zip files, except for this one and this one, were made by me. This Jakeza Gym Leaders data pack is very important. This is what has all of the custom functions that control our gym battles. And so this is probably the most important one. This is the folder that makes Cobblemon Badgebound unique. So we have all of that loaded in place. You can see all the different data packs are now here. We're just going to go ahead and add all of them. The ones that say incompatible, you can add those. They still work. Don't worry about it. Waste Zone Remover, we want that. Gym Leaders, that one's important, but that doesn't affect World Gen. This one's important. And I think, let's go ahead and add that one too. Perfect. So now we're going to click done, proceed. It's going to validate the data packs. This is just going to take a quick little second, and then we'll go back to the world creation screen. Wonderful. We're back here. You can affect the world however you want. Remember, it does need to be creative mode in order to make the NPCs. We're going to go ahead, make sure commands is on. That's also important. And create new world. Yes. All right, here we go. All right, perfect. I just slid it into the world. Let me mess with my mouse a little bit so this isn't going to be crazy. Perfect. Okay, so here we are. The shaders are already enabled. Absolutely beautiful. If you don't want those, of course, you can just go to video settings, shader packs, and disable them. I like them. I think it makes the game look pretty epic, a little better free. And so I'm going to keep it. So now what I want to show you guys is how to create the NPCs. But first, something that's very important for the Badgebound experience is the resource packs. So we're just going to go ahead and add pretty much all of these. You can go through and see exactly which ones I'm adding if you want to slow it down. But generally, if you add all of them except for these 6, you'll have exactly what I play with regularly. Click done. It'll put all of these on. Another thing that's important now that I see this, check out the starters. A lot of this stuff you guys can probably just figure out on your own. It's pretty self-explanatory. There are a lot of overlapping keybinds. There we go. You see we actually have the Cobblemon texture pack now where you have these like grasses from the games. They look great. Absolutely love it. But what we're going to do is mess with the controls. I'm going to scroll down until I see Cobblemon. I'm going to set this to the comma because, of course, if I press M, it opens the world map. I don't really want to mess with that, but do with it what you will. I'm going to select a starter. I choose Turtwig. What a cute guy. All right, now how do we do the NPCs? So if you click this page button, you can scroll through all the different creative inventories for each one of the different mods that we have installed. There's a bunch of them, but what's important right now is this easy NPC spawn eggs little folder. We want the humanoid spawn egg and the slim humanoid spawn egg. These are the only 2 that I used. You can use whichever ones you want, but not if you want to use my file, so you do have to use these 2. What's up? Okay, let's go over here. So we can place down the humanoid spawn egg. It creates a little Steve. I can't really do anything with him. I'm right-clicking right now. I'm punching him right now. Nothing happens. If you want to interact with him, you have to shift and right-click, and it opens up the little screen. This is not, by the way, going to be an easy NPC mod tutorial. I'm just going to show you how to set up my stuff. And so what we're going to do is go to import, go to local, and all of these local files should be in the mod pack that you downloaded. Now, you see all of these up in here. Many of them say final. Anything that says final next to it is one of the gym leaders, champion, or Elite Four member. Now, the Elite Four and champion are pretty obvious. The Elite Four has E4 next to it, and these are the 4 files for them, and the champion has champion next to it. However, all the different gyms have the name of the gym leader and not the type or the order. So if you want to know what the type and what the order is for these guys, here it is. There's also the list in the description down below, but you can look and see exactly which order they are intended to go in. Now, what we want to do, Fern, the grass gym is the very first one. We're going to select Fern Final, import local preset, import, and here she is. This is my leader Fern that I made, ready to go. We need to fix the rotation because for some reason the file has her locked at a set rotation. There we go. Now she can look at you from whichever direction you're going. Wonderful. Now, something else that's very important. None of these guys, for example, click ready to battle, hit yes, nothing happens. You see that it ran a function, it gave me a tag, but it didn't start a battle, nothing went down. The reason for that is because we need to run these functions that initialize the server. So if you do /function gem operations is the tag for all of my custom data packs. And so any of my files start with gem operations. What we're going to do is run server initialize. This sets up all the basic server functions to process gem progression. Should be good to go there. That's great. Now we get to run that function I just tried to run a second ago. That is initialize player. If you run this, you get this little green message. You're ready to start your adventure. Score set to 0. Wonderful. It gives you a trainer card, which has your face and your current level cap, and also the badge box, which is where you put all your gym badges. So love to see it. We don't need those right now. However, we have all of the progression stuff set up. Can we go ahead and fight her? Ooh, more stuff happened, but no, it's not working. So it teleported us, which means part of the function is actually working successfully. But what didn't work was the actual gym battle. And that's when this next very important thing actually steps up. So what we want to do, open up CurseForge again like this, go back to the 3 dots and open the folder one more time. We're going to scroll down to saves right here, which is our world files. This is bound, the one that I just made. You all saw me do it. And we're going to open this up. This has all the information for our world. This has some, all the data packs that we used to create it. Great. What we want, if you remember, there is this file that we downloaded from my Google Drive. There we go. I found it. Badgebound Cobblemon download. We're going to open this. Inside of it, there were 3 files. There was the Modpack, the README, which you guys of course should read, and the trainers. What this trainers file is all of my custom gym leaders. All of them start with a J. That's so I could differentiate which ones that I created. Of course, that stands for Jaquez. We have gym leader, Dragon, Electric, all the Elite 4 and the Champion. Once again, they all start with J. This specifies the teams and the levels for all of the gym leaders. So if I open up Gym Leader Grass, which is the first one, it says Leader Fern. Gym Leader Fern, RCT is the type of AI that we're going to use. It's the most difficult one, I believe. And then here you can see the team. Now, each one of these blue brackets specifies everything for each one of our Pokemon. For example, this is the Leafeon, and you can see all these different characteristics that we can set. Here's the moveset. Leech Seed, Sleep Powder, Vine Whip, Growl, IVs, EVs, and a held item. And I think there's even more that you can actually specify with the RCT mod. This is all that I felt the need to do. Here's the next one, which was that Gloom, and the final one, which is the Lombre, and you can specialize everything about them. So if you want to take the files that I made and create your own teams, you can come in here and edit them to be whatever you want. For example, if I change this Leafeon file to a Reshiram, well, a level 14 Reshiram with the moves Leech Seed, Sleep Powder, Vine Whip, and Growl would pop out of Leader Fern whenever I start the battle. So like it is that customizable. It's actually really, really cool. But what we're going to do with this trainers file is, you can go back to it. We're going to copy it into our world folder. If you remember, here's the thing from the mod. We went to saves, bound, and now I just loaded trainers into it just by copying it over just like that. So now trainers is in the world folder. Open it back up. We're going to do /reload. If you were trying to make a server, do not use /reload. It can screw things up. Just shut down the server and boot it back up. There we go. Everything's reloaded. We just got all the verification messages. So now if I go and I battle her, you can see the battle actually starts. And there's that Leafeon that I just showed you about, which is pretty sick. Now, if you didn't believe me that everything is highly customizable, you can open up trainers. Let's go to Gym Leader Grass. Let's make this a Reshiram. I think that's how you spell it. Click save. Let's forfeit this battle. There we go. /reload one more time so that it realizes that there was a change. And start the battle one more time. And there's that Reshiram. So a level 14 Reshiram with, whatever else you're expecting to have in it, which is pretty pretty nice. So there we go. So that's how you initialize each one of the gym leaders. What if you want to do the next gym leader? Well, you can go ahead and import or just create a second one. Brooke, like water, like a stream, is the second one. Import, here she is. Now, if I go and try to battle her, you get this error message saying you need to beat Fern's grass gym first. Each one of the gym leaders are like this. So for example, if I wanted to import one of the later gym leaders, Draco, which is the very last one, he's the dragon type. His rotation's a little screwed up too, but that's okay. If I click battle, it says you need to beat Morticia's ghost gym first, which is the 7th gym. So each one is set so that it checks for the previous completion before it lets you fight this one. That's why it's saying, hey, beat 7th gym before you can challenge me. All is working good and well. You love to see it. One more thing about these guys that I do want to show y'all is there are a couple vendors in here. For example, Evil Trader, not evil, but evil is the Evolution Stone Trader. Is her rotation screwed up too? That'd be cute if it, yep. Okay, cool. Here she is. So if I open this, you can actually go ahead and buy all of the evolution stones using coins from Numismatic Overhaul. This was my attempt at bridging like the item versus the Cobble Dollars thing, because of course the Cobble Dollars mod, you can't actually, or I wasn't able to figure out how to make you actually be able to trade with these guys. And so what I have is I would transition the Cobble Dollars to these. You can then buy stuff with the coins was my in-between system that I have. So a few of my vendors are on here, not all of them. And so if you want to go ahead and add your own, you're more than welcome to do that. For example, Bernie, I think, is another one of the vendors, and he just sells fire-related things. He was set up next to the fire gem, so things like that. And here's your purse where you can check on your coins and things like that. But yes, this is how you install the or how you set up the individual gym leaders. A few more things you guys might need to understand for how this mod pack works. You can look /function gym operations. There are a bunch of gym operations here. Now you might see for each one of the gyms, Dragon Gym and Dragon Win. There's an electric gym, electric win. So for each one of the gyms, there is a win and a gym function. They do different things. So for example, the gym functions are just chat functions. They only pop up these things. You defeated the gym leader, how much money you earned, and what your level cap has increased to as a result of beating that gym leader. This is all they do. They don't do anything more than this. However, the win function is the one that gives you the little custom goodie bags, all of which is, of course, in this mod pack itself. It's all already programmed into these gym leaders. You guys don't have to do anything but what I showed you earlier about getting them set up, because if you win the battle, you're going to get the goodie bag, and all will work out well. So you don't need to worry about it. You just might need to understand exactly what's happening. But that should be just about everything. So I think you have all the information you need to set up your own version of Cobblemon Badgebound with the gym progression system built in and ready to go. So if that's you, you're good to go here. If you want to know a little bit more about how it works, in case you want to tweak it for your own needs, stick around. I'm going to get a little bit more in depth from this point forward. But if you have everything that you need, thank you for watching this far. I appreciate you. Have fun. But for the rest of you, let's talk about how all of this is set up. All right, so the first thing I want to show you guys that's a little bit more in depth is how the NPCs are set up. So if I open this and click dialogue, we see the dialogue option that we get as soon as we interact with Fern. We have two options here. We have the yes and no button. If you click no for some reason, what happens is it simply closes the dialogue. It's as simple as that. So if I come and talk to Fern, do I want to battle? Nope, it just closes it. However, if I click yes and see what actions happen when I do click yes, there are 4 commands that are run. So first of all, the dialogue is closed. Of course, you don't want to be seeing that as things are going around. The first command is tbcs attach j gym leader grass. So if you remember, j gym leader grass is Fern. tbcs is one of the functions that we have, or excuse me, one of the mods. It's a built-on of the RCT mod, the Radical Cobblemon Trainers, that allows you to use special commands. That's what I use to make all of this work. So we call TBCS a J Gym Leader Grass. That simply means Gym Leader Grass. Attach that gym leader to this entity. And so this command sets Leader Fern, the NPC that's standing here, to be the actual Leader Fern with Pokemon equipped. Otherwise, she's literally just an NPC like she is right now. So that's the first command that happens. The second command here is a tag. And so this kind of gets a little bit further into exactly how I have this progression system set up. And so this is important for the third step and really nothing more. Here is the third step. This is where all the fun stuff happens. We call a function from the gym operations subset of my data pack called check grass progress. And this is where it gets into the nitty gritty of how exactly my system of progression works. So to show you all the check functions that I'm talking about, if we go into the Jaquez gym leaders to the data pack, gym operations functions, this is, of course, our functions file. I've showed this to you guys multiple times already. Check. You see all these different check functions. This checks your progress and initializes and starts the battle. So if I say check grass progress, this is what leader Fern calls. I'm going to open this up. What we see here, what this does is it gives you that tag that we just saw a second ago. This is just setting your character as the subject of these commands. If the score on your scoreboard, gym progress matches 0, and then it runs the rest of these commands right here. And so what do I mean by scoreboard? So Minecraft has a scoreboard system built in. If you've done Minecraft development before, you know what I'm talking about. But what it is a set of scores that are assigned to your player. Now, these scores can be interacted with by numerous different things. However, the initialize function that we ran at the very start, which is down here somewhere, server init.mc function. What this does is it creates 3 scoreboard objectives called gym progress, elite 4 progress, and is champion. Now, I, of course, could have made is champion just a tag. That's an example of me not being very efficient, but this works, and it works well. So what this does is we initialize gym progress. The other function that we ran, the second one, initialize player, sets your scores at each one of these scoreboards to 0 to allow you to actually be able to interact with the NPCs. We set the RCT mod player series to the Jaquez League, which is the progression system that says to go from Fern to Brooke to Wattson to all the ones that I have customized myself. And it initializes your progress in that mod, or in that series, to being before gym leader grass, which is before the first gym. And of course, then it gives you the stuff that you need. So this initializes the player. Server init creates the scoreboards. Initialize sets your player to 0 at each one of the scoreboards and puts you into the progression system in the RCT mod so that you can actually challenge the gym leaders and in a set order. So there's a reason that I said it. Use the server init first and then the initialize player. If you set is champion to 0, but is champion doesn't exist yet, it's of course not going to do anything. Now, what the check your ask function does, it's looking at gym progress, making sure it matches 0, which is right after you just initialized it, which is, of course, this is the first gym, which is why it requires 0. It teleports the player 10 blocks backwards so that there's space in between you and the gym leader, so it actually looks like a gym battle. And then it actually run TBCS battle Gen 9 singles, which means the newest game is the mechanics we use. It's a singles battle, saying only one Pokemon at a time, versus gym leader grass. And these are my on-win conditions. No, I just screwed something right there. There we go. These are my on-win conditions, and most of them are functions. So if you win against gym leader grass, it calls the grass win function, which gives you the goodie bag, the grass gym function, which pops those things up in chat. It gives you Cobble dollars. It sets your scoreboard for gym progress to 1, which means the next step. RCT mod player set progress 1 after gym leader grass. Why does this keep doing this? So this is the RCT mod progression step. It sets you after gym leader grass so that you can level up for your level cap. So there's kind of a lot that goes into it. Every time you win against a gym leader, 5 commands at least are called, 2 of which affect progression, which are these 2, being the scoreboard system and also the RCT mod, and 3 of which have to do with the rewards you get for winning. Now, each one of the gym leaders has the same system going. So if you check the, let's say, Ghost Progress, which is the 7th gym, you'll see the exact same thing, making sure your gym progress matches 6, meaning you've completed 6 gyms. It calls the singles thing and does all the same stuff. However, you'll see this, I have the teleport triggered out or deleted. This isn't even it. This was me testing. I was running into some issues with this command because I had this gym leader in the nether. The teleport was a little buggy in the nether, and so I just deleted it entirely. So this one function and this one alone will not teleport you. You'll just be smooching the NPC when you start the battle. So you'll just have to run yourself, or you can go ahead manually and add the teleport back if you want this person to be in the overworld. Now, the Elite Four progression checks are a little bit different, and you can differentiate them because it says check. There's a 4 at the end of the progress. So there's 4 Elite Four: Steel, Psychic, Ground, and there's one more. I'm blanking. Oh, Fighting. There it is. So if I wanted to open one of these, and make sure you aren't the champion. If that's the case, and make sure that you've beaten all 8 gyms, and then it starts the battle. If this doesn't work, if you haven't beaten all 8 gyms, it'll say, hey, you need to beat this gym first before you can challenge any of them. So this is the same for all of the Elite Four. It simply checks to make sure that that you aren't the champion and that you've beaten all 8 gyms. However, the champions one is a little bit more involved because there are 2 things that you have to check. And checks to make sure you first beaten all 8 gyms, or first that you aren't the champion, you've beaten all 8 gyms, that you've beaten all Elite Four members, or yeah, so those are the 3 things that it checks right there before you can fight the champion. However, let me go back to the Elite Four progress. If you scroll down, there is an on-win category, but there's also an on-lose category. Now, what this does is if you lose to one of the Elite Four members, it's going to set your Elite Four progress back to 0. This just forces the player to beat all the Elite Four members in a row. So if you lose to any of them, it resets you to 0 and makes you do it again, like the games. But I think that about wraps it up. I showed you guys how to install the mod pack, how to create the little NPCs, and if you are interested in the more in-depth things, how to customize it a little bit, as well as a little bit of a background as to how it all works. I just wanted to add a little pause right here real quick just to say that the world download itself will be coming out, but I have to go in and replace everything that was downloaded and purchased so that everything does belong to me, and it will be coming out eventually, and it'll likely be on Patreon because of course, the amount of work from Ava and myself that went into it. If you're interested in that, let me know, but that is on the horizon. But once again, I wanted to thank everybody for their interest in this mod pack. I've really been blown away. I'm absolutely humbled and honored that everybody is thinking that this is cool enough to give it a shot for themselves. I really appreciate y'all. If you're enjoying the content, if you think this is a cool project, please like and subscribe. It's made me really happy. It's been such a fun thing these past few days. But once again, thank you all and have a good one.